Hello, and welcome to the Divorced Dadvocate, divorce support for dads, where we help dads create a healthy and less traumatic divorce. My name is Jude Sandoval, and I'm your host. I created this podcast and the Divorced Advocate community as a result of my own high conflict divorce, and because you as a dad deserve all the resources necessary to thrive through this challenging time. I encourage you to check out our website at thedivorcedadvocate.com, where there are resources that correspond to this episode, as well as free access to our membership community, where you will find live meetings, free workshops and courses, private discussion groups, and more. And now, on to this week's episode. Hello, and welcome to the show. Thank you so much for tuning in again this week. And we are back with another episode of practical advice. We haven't done one in a while, although I would say every episode hopefully has some practical advice for you. But we're going to get real specific today about maintaining a balanced diet and exercise routine with your busy schedule that you have. So we're going to dive into some real specifics. We're going to break it down in 3 different areas and give you some strategies for doing that. But before we do so, I want to welcome Derek to the Divorced Advocate community. If you're not part of the community, check it out at thedivorcedadvocate.com. We have resources for everybody, including an app behind the membership site that gives you over 50 different courses to help you work through and work after your divorce. So check that out at thedivorcedadvocate.com. Check out the membership site or the membership page that gives you all the information about the membership site. All right, let's talk about some practical advice around maintaining a balanced diet and exercise routine with a busy schedule. Obviously, during post-divorce, just in general in life these days, that can be incredibly challenging, but it's certainly achievable with some planning and commitment. Those are probably the 2 things that are the most important, is planning and commitment. So if you're not a planner, then you need to, and look, probably if you haven't already learned this, being a parent, that if you're not a planner, becoming a planner is a necessity. So those of you dads that are listening that haven't been the planners or weren't particularly in your family environment, welcome to having to be a planner now. I am innately a planner, so that wasn't incredibly difficult for me to embrace. I know that everybody is not necessarily like that, but planning is absolutely crucial and a necessity, particularly if and when you are going to be parenting as a single dad. And the next one is commitment. Obviously, commitments can wane, ebb and flow, if you will. But being committed to something, and we're going to talk a little bit about just a little bit of a commitment, doing a little better today than you did yesterday, and continuing to do that on and on, not measuring yourself from your goal, but measuring yourself by the improvement that you're making. So let's talk about some practical steps to help you stay healthy despite this hectic time for you. And like I said, we're going to break it down in 3 different categories. The first is nutrition strategies. The second is exercise strategies. And then the third is lifestyle adjustments. So let's talk about nutrition strategies. The first is meal planning and prep. So one of the best ways that I found this, and actually I've gotten off track on this a little bit in recent times, because my schedule is a little bit more flexible to be able to go to the grocery store and make quick runs. And I also have kiddos that don't need 24/7 monitoring or constant monitoring, and I don't have to bring them to the grocery store if I have to make runs. So those of you with little ones, this is definitely going to be critical, and that is plan your meals for the week in advance. Plan your meals for the week in advance. So if, for say, you have a Monday through Friday 9 to 5 job, figure out some time. Again, you need to plan and schedule this in your schedule to plan those meals a week in advance, and then prep those ingredients and the entire meals on your day off. So this would look like getting your list together on Saturday, going to the grocery store on Sunday, and spending some time getting those meals either fully ready to go and to be thrown in the oven or the crock pot or whatever it might be for that week, or partially prepared and ready to execute throughout the week. One of the things I just mentioned is a slow cooker for easy and healthy meals. I used that a ton when my daughters were younger, and it's just a one plate meal, which is maybe like a roast, or maybe a goulash or something like that you can just put in the morning. So you're going to have to get up 15, 20, maybe 30 minutes, depending on how intricate that slow cooker meal is. You're going to throw it all in there, and it's going to slow cook throughout the day. You can check out some websites and just Google slow cooker ideas or slow cooker recipes, and it is absolutely phenomenal because you can pick up the kiddos and then you can come home and your meal is ready, and you don't have to do a bunch of cooking when you get home after work. So try that out. Those are great ways to plan and prep. The next nutritional strategy is some smart eating habits. Now, this first one is one that I've gotten seriously into recently, because over the years now in testing this, I have seen a marked difference in my cognitive abilities and my focus, and how I'm able to start and maintain my day. And that is by eating a high protein breakfast right away, first thing in the morning. So they say that you need, I think, at least 40 grams of protein to get to that peak protein, that peak thought process or ability to process and focus your mind first thing in the morning and in the day. So you can do that a couple of ways. I do it with protein bars, protein smoothies, and then also with a high protein breakfast. So I include all of those things in my morning so that I can get at least those 40 grams of protein into my body first thing in the morning. So get that, and again, test it and see. I know that it has definitely made a difference. There's no more grogginess for me. There's no more having to cut coffee completely out. So there's no more coffee to have to get me to wake up in the morning. We're going to talk about sleep here a little bit as well, but that's another huge factor. But get that protein in you first thing in the morning. The next is pack your lunch. And this is two reasons. Number one, you're going to eat healthier, but you're going to eat healthier because you're packing your own lunch, and because you are going to stay away from those unhealthy fast food options. Pretty much if it's fast food, now I know that there's some better fast food options these days than there have been in the past, but fast food options are typically going to be very low quality food for you. So if you pack your lunch, if you've done those meal plans and preps, and you've gotten all of your meals ready for the week, then packing your lunch is going to be a lot easier throughout the week. And I would say that for the kids as well. One of the things I've found, and I've tried to avoid, sometimes it's not altogether possible, because sometimes you just have to choose a lesser of evils if you just don't have the time and resources. But that's getting my daughters away from school lunches. Now, school lunches are not very health friendly. I know that there's been more of a push recently in recent times to make them better, but it is still fast food. It is still quick prepared, and does not have the nutritional value if you are packing and making their own lunches, your kiddos' own lunches. Yes, I do recognize that it is a lot of work to do, but here's the thing. Depending on the age of your kids, you can start to get them to participate in doing that. My daughters now obviously are older, so they pack their own lunches in the morning before they leave. But I started that with them a long time ago, and got them into preparing and packing their lunches. And that started with planning the night before so that they weren't scrambling in the morning. So you can get them to get them involved in it, if you will, to do that and to alleviate some of that time crunch and time constraints that you might have in helping them or doing that or facilitating that in the morning. Okay, the next smart eating habit is keep healthy snacks readily available. So this goes under kind of the controlling your environment mindset. Get rid of all of the crappy food in your house, because if you get rid of all of the crappy food and you only have healthy, good food, then when you're hungry, that's the only thing you're going to eat, or you're not going to eat. So you're going to be forced. And I can tell you that's the same thing with your kids. Now, there might be some resistance to this in the beginning. They might push back. They're going to go to school, and mine still go, and they get candy and all kinds of other crap sometimes, but they do they don't go overboard on it, if you will. They still have access to it, but they know that eating healthy is important in our household, and it's not allowed. It's not allowed, but it's just a lifestyle choice that we have made. So putting that in their mind, and they make it on their own. It doesn't mean that we don't have treats. Doesn't mean that we don't eat some sweet stuff once in a while, more so recently than usual. But if you control that environment, you have only healthy food around, you have healthy snacks for them and yourself, you're going to be eating better and healthier and feel a lot better. The next smart eating habit is stay hydrated by carrying a reusable water bottle. So I have got to say, I am guilty of not drinking nearly enough water throughout a day. And I drink about a water bottle full a day, which is probably about a third of what I need. And I really need to up that consumption. And I can't remember the number on it, but there's some high number of Americans that are dehydrated. I mean, the majority, like 60, 70% of us are dehydrated throughout the day. And there's different ideas of what hydration is. You can Google that and see, but find what's comfortable for you. But I can pretty much almost guarantee that you're not getting enough hydration. And by carrying a reusable water bottle, refilling that is definitely helpful. So stay hydrated. It's also going to help with your hunger. It'll help with your cravings. If you have sweets cravings like I do, then staying hydrated definitely helps with that. Okay, the final nutrition strategy, and these are just some time-saving tips around those, is consider grocery delivery services. So this was not something that was available not too long ago, and probably pre-COVID was not as popular as it is now. But hey, you can literally not ever step foot into a grocery store ever again. Now, I'm weird and I actually don't mind going to the grocery store, but I know a lot of people despise it. So consider grocery delivery services online. I think pretty much every single major grocery chain now has some sort of delivery service. So check it out. It's great. I mean, you can save a ton of time. You can get on the computer. You can save. When I did it, I was trying to be an early adopter. It was an absolute nightmare, and the tech was not there. Now I've seen some friends that have done it and have done it on their apps. And you can save the stuff. You can have grocery lists that are just ongoing, that show up on an ongoing basis, that are there every so often, or whatever interval you want them. So the tech is way better now, and the delivery services are way better now. Another time-saving tip is opt for pre-chopped fruits and vegetables. And I'm going to add to that pre-chopped fruits and vegetables and pre-packaged foods. And then that kind of leads into the meal delivery services for fresh pre-portioned ingredients. So let's talk about the pre-chopped fruits and vegetables. So you can go into the grocery store or have delivered them pre-chopped. So this cuts out, or pre-prepared, this cuts out a ton of prep time and having to chop stuff up like I was talking about with the slow cooker. If you've already got the potatoes and the carrots, like I love to do roasts in the slow cooker. So if you've got the potatoes already chopped, the carrots already chopped, the Other vegetables that you're going to put in there already chopped, you're literally just taking it out of the package, putting it in a slow cooker, putting whatever seasonings and whatever liquid that you want in there, putting in the roast, and then turning it on. That could take you maybe a maximum of 5 minutes if you're really slow. And then you put it on, and then it slow cooks through the day, and you're done. So completely easy for you to do. The trade-off is that those are more expensive to buy because somebody's had to prepare them, pre-prepared the meals or chop the fruits and vegetables. So that might not, if you're on a budget or finances are a little bit tight, that might not be an option. But then you're just going to have to make up for it by getting up earlier and doing a little bit of that chopping. I love to cook, so I don't mind doing that. I'd rather pick out my produce. Like I said, I like the grocery store. I'd rather pick out my produce. I'd rather chop it myself. I'd rather prepare the meal myself. But that's just me. And I like it. So I take the time and I schedule the time to do it myself. But if you got littles and it's not possible, the pre-chopped fruits and vegetables or the pre-prepared meals that you can buy at the store are really helpful. The last time-saving tip is try meal delivery services for fresh or pre-portioned ingredients. This is also another thing that's exploded really since COVID is the delivery meal services. So you can literally buy a week of or more, a month of pre-packaged, fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and do what I just described before with the crock pot, but with every meal. It might not be a crock pot meal, but it could be something that you're just going to have to cook up on the grill, or you're going to have to cook up in a pot or something else. And it's all delivered. It's pre-portioned. There are recipes and instructions all right there for you. You can keep them in your freezer. You can pull them out, thaw them, and then just go with it at dinner time or whatever meal that you're preparing. So again, the trade-off on these is they can be very expensive because somebody's put them all together and done all of that work for you so that you can just go with it and prepare the meal. But it can be a huge, huge time saver, taking away all that grocery planning, grocery shopping, meal prepping, and then execution of the meal. So check those out. There's quite a few of those as well. All right, those are all the nutrition strategies around meal planning and prep, smart eating habits, and some time-saving tips. Let us talk about some exercise strategies. So, the flip side of this balanced diet is having, or the flip side of the balanced diet and eating healthy is getting a exercise routine and an exercise strategy in place. They go hand in hand. Let's talk first about efficient workouts, right? We're talking here because we have a busy schedule, how to get an exercise routine and how to implement this and execute on it. Efficient workouts. Schedule your workouts like any other important appointments. Okay, so the mindset you have to have is this is something that I have to do. Like I have a doctor's appointment, I have to go to the doctor. I have to get up. I have to go to work so that I can make money. I have to go exercise because I need to take care of myself. I need to be healthy and I need to be there for my kiddos. So you need to schedule your workouts in just like anything else that's important in your life. So do that in your calendar. Put it in your Google Calendar, set your alarm in the morning, however you're scheduling things in your life, include workouts in that. The next is, and I found this to be absolutely remarkable. So I'm a former Division I athlete. I spent thousands and thousands of hours in the gym doing all kinds of different workouts. And in college, we'd spend hours and hours in the gym working out. It was part of what we did and what we did as college athletes. But that's not at all possible when you have kids, as a single dad, as a family. That is just a lot of time and work. So high intensity interval training is absolutely phenomenal for maximum results in the least amount of time. They're called HIIT, HIIT. You can just Google it. It's high intensity interval training. Basically, it's a combination. You've kind of heard of CrossFit. It can be like that. There's different variations and iterations of it, but I've found it phenomenal in doing weight training timed so that you're getting a resistance training workout with a cardiovascular. Now, it's a mild cardiovascular workout, but it is still a cardiovascular workout if you are timing those high intensity interval training exercises. And it's absolutely phenomenal. I feel really, really good when I do those. So check those out. They're called HIIT, HIIT, and you will maximize your time. It takes me about 30 to 45 minutes, my workouts. So I'm able to schedule that time, and like any of us can figure out 30 minutes in our day. We spend 30 minutes screwing off on social media or zoning out or doing something that is non-productive. We can all find 30 minutes in our schedule to do these exercises. So check out the HIIT exercise routines. And the last for efficient workouts is you can focus on compound exercises, or some people call them supersets, that work multiple muscle groups simultaneously. And so what that allows you to do is do multiple exercises in a time frame, take a break, and then do it again, so you knock out more stuff in less time. Look, if you can find a personal trainer, that is great. We're going to talk about some tech ideas here that can help you, but literally there are tech ideas, personal trainers online. There are apps. We're going to talk about those as well coming up here that can help you with this as well. So you may utilize some of that tech that's out there if you need a personal trainer or need a virtual personal trainer that might help you. The next exercise strategy is incorporate movement throughout the day. So you've probably heard some of these ideas and some of these strategies. One of them is take the stairs instead of the elevator to get you some more steps in. Another one would be park farther away to increase your step count and your walking. You can use a standing desk or take regular breaks to move around. That's a huge one. If you are sitting at a desk all day, make sure to schedule in your breaks. Again, this is about maintaining your health. So schedule those breaks in to get up, to walk around if you don't have a standing desk, because sitting and staring at a screen all day is incredibly detrimental to your health. All right, those are pretty straightforward as far as incorporating movement throughout the day. Let me just comment on that for a little bit. We are designed as humans to be out and moving. We are not designed to be sedentary. We're not designed to be sitting at a desk for 8-9 hours a day, just not moving. We're designed to be out, moving, active. Our bodies desire and crave that. And so we've kind of gotten into this societal thing where we go to work, we sit in an office all day, and we don't do that. And our bodies absolutely need that. So just make sure to incorporate that movement throughout the day. Okay, the last exercise strategy is around some flexible exercise options. So, and this is a little bit around that control your environment philosophy I talked about earlier. One is keep workout clothes in your car for impromptu exercise sessions. So you can keep stuff in your car, like sometimes I'll keep I used to when I had a gym that I was going to. I had a gym bag that I would just leave in the car. It had gym shoes, a workout outfit in there. So if I hadn't planned on something, but I found myself having time, then I could get in an extra workout, or I could get a workout in when I didn't think I could, and then not do the workout that I had scheduled later, and then utilize that time for something else. So keep workout clothes in your car for an impromptu exercise session. So this is big, at least in the Denver metro area where I'm from, and that is active commuting by walking or cycling to work. They have literally taken half the roads in Denver, Colorado here and turned them into bike lanes. So while all the traffic is backed up, the bikers can just cruise on half, like the 3 bikers that use it can cruise on the other half of the streets to work and back or wherever they're going. But if you have the opportunity to try to utilize this with the e-bikes, the scooters, and all the other options that you have, you can get some of this physical activity in just by having to get to work. So it's a necessity to get to work. You can couple that with needing to have your activity for the day, and you can walk, or you can walk to maybe a train. I know this is, for those of you listening in a big city, this is kind of like a duh. But some of us that grew up in suburbs didn't know about trains or mass transit or stuff like that. But you can walk to the bus, you can walk to the train, and then you can walk to your job, even if it's a mile or 2 miles, and then get that activity in. And then the last one is exercise during your lunch break. Again, take that time. If you've got a half hour, an hour, whatever that might be, break it up, get your meal in, but then go for a walk. We've talked about the benefits of walking mentally, emotionally, and physically. Walking is a great, simple one to do during your lunch break. I know there's a lot of places, a lot of buildings that corporate office buildings that have gyms in them. That's where I work out now, is at my office building gym, and it's a really, really nice gym. And they are seriously underutilized. So exercise, maybe you can bring your workout clothes with you, do that during your lunch break, get that half hour, 45 minutes in during your lunch break if you're doing a HIIT training, and then get back to work. It's also going to improve your focus. It's going to improve your mood during work to be able to get some of that frustration potentially out while you're working out. So that's the last flexible exercise option and the last exercise strategy. Get those efficient workouts, incorporate movement throughout the day, and then be flexible in how you're doing your exercise with those options. All right, let's wrap up with some lifestyle adjustments. I don't have to tell you that through this divorce process and post-divorce, you're making lifestyle adjustments, whether you wanted to or not. And so let's talk about those in the context of how you can make them positive for maintaining a balanced diet and exercise routine during this time. First is make sure, and you hear me talk about it all the time, prioritize your self-care. Mindful eating is one of them that you can implement to enjoy your meals and avoid overeating. Take your time in eating. You can do things like think about where the meal came from, how the meal was prepared, etc. Those are some mindful eating practices. The other self-care is, and I mentioned it earlier, was get enough sleep to support your health and fitness goals. Sleep is huge. And I know that if things are on your mind and you're ruminating about things from the past, or you're worried about things in the future, your sleep might not be so great right now. And that is going to have a huge impact on you. If you can, stay away from the sleep aids. Figure out how you're going to create a lifestyle that is going to lead you to getting better sleep. Part of that is what we're talking about today, having a balanced diet, getting an exercise routine in. Other parts of that include your mental, emotional help, getting professional help if you need to talk to somebody, surrounding yourself with others that are going to support you through this process, getting a coach, becoming a part of a divorce group, etc. All of those things are going to help you through this process, and then are also going to help you with your sleep, because eventually and slowly you will stop ruminating about things, and you will stop worrying as much about things, and you will start sleeping much better. So work on that for sure. Getting sleep is absolutely huge. Another thing is to try to make it enjoyable. So if you can choose workouts you actually enjoy, this is going to increase your consistency in doing them. One of the things I charged myself with this year was finding a new sport to get involved in, and to implement that into my schedule, because I have to schedule it just like anything else is. And I've done that. So find something that you enjoy. It might be hiking. Maybe it's a sport that you are involved with pre-marriage and pre-family. Maybe it's something that you've always wanted to do and you're interested in thinking about doing. Engage in it. Get involved in it. Make it enjoyable, because it is going to increase the likelihood that you stay consistent with implementing it. And the next way to make things enjoyable is exercise with friends, or do fitness classes. Those are easy to do in person or online, and it just creates more of a motivation when you're working with others, or if you have an accountability workout partner. That is absolutely huge, because you'll be able to enjoy the time together while you're working out, but also keep each other motivated around what you're doing, and maybe even a little bit of competition to make sure that you're making the gains that you want to see. So those are a couple ways to make it enjoyable. And the last one I alluded to earlier is use technology. The technology available now is absolutely tremendous and absolutely mind-blowing, really, for what you can track and how you can track it. You can use apps to track your water intake and remind you to stay hydrated. You can use trackers to with your sleep. You can use trackers for your cardio. You can use trackers for your step. I mean, there's all kinds of apps out there. Like I mentioned, the personal trainers with the inventions of like the Peloton and some of these virtual fitness classes just makes it so convenient and so flexible. Literally, there is no excuse for us in our day and age to not be able to get in 30 minutes a day of some exercise. And I'm saying that as somebody who doesn't always do it, right? So I struggle with this as much as anybody else does, but I still try to make changes and get back on track. And that's the other thing I'll say here is, if you get off track, just get back on and just make those slow incremental changes. And, just remember, the key is to start small. If this is the new thing for you, start with small, manageable changes and then just gradually build on them. Be patient with yourself. Focus on progress, not perfection. If you're getting in and doing something the first time, you're not going to be perfect at it. And then with consistent efforts, these strategies are going to help you to maintain a balanced diet and exercise routine, even during this challenging time of divorce, post-divorce, with your busy schedule. Okay, that is our practical advice on maintaining a balanced diet and exercise routine. I hope that you found some value in this. If you did, please share it far and wide with other divorced dads on social media or wherever else. I had a guy that I connected with this week that was at a convention down in Florida that heard about the podcast here. So I know you guys are sharing this far and wide, and I sincerely appreciate that. Share it with all the dads that you know. If you can give us a star rating on whatever podcast platform that you're listening to or wherever you're watching this, that would help. One step further is leaving a comment on somewhere that's going to entice another dad to jump in and listen to one episode. And once they listen to one episode and get the help that they deserve, then they're going to want to listen to more and get involved and get the help and support that they need and deserve. So thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate it. You stay strong and have a blessed week. To hear the rest of this episode and access the corresponding resources, visit thedivorcedadvocate.com and become a member of our community. It's free to join and will provide you with the resources you deserve as a divorced or divorcing dad. Thank you for listening. God bless, and I'll talk with you next week.